everyone, welcome to the Writer Studio. My name's Angela Drake, and today we are on part 3 of prepping for Camp Nano. Now before I go any farther, because I'm going to be talking about your crew in our next video, I need to bring this one up ahead of that. There is going to be a huge Write-A-Thon on YouTube beginning at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning. That is Saturday. And it's going to go for 24 hours until we do our wrap-up thing at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday night. It used to be known as the Worldwide Write-A-Thon. They've changed it, and I didn't write down the name of that, but I am going to link all the information in the description box below. This means with all those sprinters going on, it's basically a sprint hop. We'll be in one girl's YouTube channel for a little while for 5 or 6 sprints, and then we'll jump to a next one, and it's kind of like a tag to different YouTube channels for 24 hours. You can click on if you go to the link down below and click on each of the video thumbnails in that page, that will take you to their YouTube channel, and you can click notify me, and then you'll get a notification when that video is getting ready, when that live is getting ready to come up. These are all in real time. And then that way you'll get notifications when the sprint's getting ready to start in each person. So if you can't hit them all and you don't want to even think about hitting them all, but there's specific times that will work for you, click notification on those, and so they'll come up when you're ready to write. Guess that's it. Oh, one other thing. After setting up the Camp NanoWriMo for April and July notebooks, Sarra has posted the April 2023 in her resource library. So remember to go check that out. You'll have to be on her newsletter list to get into her resource library. But the April 2023 Camp Nano book is out and ready to roll. So you can grab that instead of redating this one. I'm going to grab mine later this afternoon. Thank you, Sarah, for posting that. So let's jump into what today's topic is. Today we're talking about prepping your tools. Now, if you're one of those fly by the seat of your pants and just jump in and start writing on whatever, that's cool. But there are some things I want you to think about. We're going to start with what you're going to use to write your project on. Are you going to be using your laptop, a PC, an iPad, an AlphaSmart, a notebook? If you're using something electronic, make sure all the updates are done, because you don't want to be in the middle of a sprint or be in the middle of a word flow and have your computer decide it wants to do updates. So go in and check for those updates. Also, make sure you are backing up your work. Are you using an external hard drive? Are you using the cloud? Are you using Dropbox? Whatever. Make sure you back up your work. Nothing hurts more, well, except for maybe losing the flash drive entirely, is to have spent all that time working on your project and have it shut down. Have it just vanish into the Ethernet. So make sure you're backing up. Also keep in mind, you do not have to write longhand, but nothing can replace a good, hard, handwritten copy. When I write remotely, I do everything hand, and I know this is the notebook that I'm going to use. Now, if you have not already started one for your project, first off, notebook is a great thing to have on hand anyway, even if you're not writing by hand, so that you can make notes of things that come to you as you are typing, instead of jumping out to make that note on another screen and then trying to come back into the flow. On this next sprint break, just take a break and jot down the notes, and you'll have everything in the notebook. I recommend labeling your notebook so that you know what it is for. Use one notebook, and that's the only thing you use for that particular project. I like 5 subject notebooks myself because I have plenty to work with, and I have pockets to stick things in that I might pick up while I'm out and about. I'm also going to link Sarah Cannon's video for her plotting notebook down below. Something you might want to take a look at if you are a plotter. Her plotting notebook is a bit more than I do, but I do use index cards. And I use washi tape, and all of my index cards are color-coded on the top. Thank you, Sarah, for this tip. I have a specific washi color that I use for each of my characters, and I have one index card that I write the premise of that chapter on. Then I have a postcard. Jeez, I have an index card that I write the character and what their scene is about. And again, with another character and their scene. And this is how I keep them all in order on my storyboard. So whether you use a notebook, index cards, slides on your computer, whatever works for you, have something to work with. I also have pens and markers. This is actually a pen case from the art department at Hobby Lobby, and it holds a bunch of pens. I have an erasable pen, and I have a flare tip in all of the colors that I might want to work with, plus I have a precision black and a standard blue, and these with the color tips are erasables. So if I'm thinking and my brain is going faster than I am and I put something down on an index card where it doesn't belong, I can erase it. I also use these in my planners. I have a separate case that stays in my planner bag. Okay, whether you want to have, and if you're planning to write by hand, make sure you have multiples of the pen that you prefer to write with. You don't want to have it start running out of ink or have something happen to it and then you don't have the pen that you want to work with. So have multiples of the pen that you will write by hand with. Headphones are another great tool to have in your bag because whether you are working at home or you are working remotely, headphones let others know that you do not want to be bothered. You are in the middle of something. The headphones are a do not disturb sign. You don't even have to have anything channeling through those headphones if you don't want to. But put those headphones on and people know, don't bother me. It's a perfect, polite do not disturb sign. Do you need a new mouse or Bluetooth items for your sessions? Now's the time to update those, not after Nano starts. Wrist guard or wrist pad, wrist brace. If you're going to be spending lots of hours on that keyboard, a wrist brace or one of the cushions for under your wrist is an excellent idea. Carpal tunnel is a thing, and it isn't always as fixable as you think. It depends on your doctor. Okay, next, another important part of your tool bag is your space. Where are you going to write? Are you going to curl up in a comfy chair with a blanket and a notebook or your laptop? Are you going to be working at a desk? If you're working at a desk, make sure you have a chair that is of a comfortable height. Are you able to be out of the household activity if you're writing at home? Can you lock yourself in a bedroom for an X amount of time? Or out on the deck? Some people have even gone out and sat in their cars for Nano or in a camper in their driveway. Anything so that they had their alone time. Just remember that unless you are a single parent, you should not be shouldering everything. You are important. Perhaps swap childcare with a neighbor who would like to do something else on another day. Perhaps she'd love to go shopping without her kids. You want to write without yours. See if you can swap times and do things like that. Do childcare shares. Remember that nights still get chilly at camp, so make sure you are prepared with the proper clothing, regardless of where you're going to be writing. Sometimes a cool room works for me, but I still want the comfort of being snuggled in. That's my husband. I freeze him out of the bedroom every night that he's home. Candles, scents, infusers. I picked up this infuser at Dollar Tree for $1.25. It has, see if I can get it open. It runs on 2 AAA batteries, or 3 AAA batteries. And it has a little felt disc in the bottom that you put your oil scent on. And when you turn it on, that little fan sends the scent out into the air. Say that 3 times fast. And then your batteries go in the top. I cannot never get that open. And if you can hear that fan running, it will kind of lull you into a trance. So aside from the scent wafting from the infuser, you get that soft, repetitive, calming sound as well. You could also use a candle. I love Winter's Night. I picked this one up at Walmart. I love this one. Other aesthetic items you might want to have, such as a string of fairy lights. You've seen Sarah Cannon's setup when she goes on her writing retreat. She's got her crystals and her string of lights. Maybe have some fresh flowers or figurines that coordinate with your story. They may sound like fluff to some people, but what you are doing is you are setting the mood for your muse to know that when you sit down and do whatever it is that you do on a repetitive basis, it's time to write. That's all it is. You're setting the intention that it's time to write. So whether you choose, I like this infuser, I can take it to the coffee shop with me. Oftentimes I'll take a comfy sweater, and I might not wear it in the coffee shop depending on where I sit, but I like throwing it over my legs because at home I would have a comfy blanket. And so while they're not the exact same thing, they have the same concept and they offer the same mood. And that is to snuggle in and get comfortable and start writing. Just remember that whatever you do, nothing will beat the most important tool in your toolbox is repetition. Repetition of sitting down and writing, whether you do it every day and you do it at the same time every day, or you do it the same time, the same day every week. It doesn't matter. Build a pattern and build a repetition, and that will help you build consistent word counts. I speak from experience on this one, that if I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I was working on a nano project. I was determined to get this story finished. And I just fought with the words when I first started, but I sat down and I wrote every night with my Kabbalah group. And even after I couldn't sit at the table anymore, when it was getting too noisy in the house, I'd go to the bedroom and I would take my notebook and I'd keep writing. And the cool thing is as I continued to write every night, my word count built, the words flowed easier. So take that time for yourself, set a pattern, set an intention, and the words will come. Another thing you will find in Sarah's locker of goodies, she has a word count tracker. Now this one is a 2-page. Actually, it comes with this one, and I've already printed this down to fit in my day plan in my HB90 planner. But this one has the sprint number, the sprint length, the start time, and the words written. I'm going to use this one for the Write-A-Thon this weekend. And then page 2 is a word count tracker with multiple dates, sprints, today, and a total. So you can work them together. Okay, so at the end of the sprints, you can go over here and write the date. You could write down how many sprints you did, what your word total was, accumulative for those sprints, and what your total is. And then tomorrow do the same thing, except when you write this total, then you're going to add it to this one and give you an accumulative total there, that way too. So you'll find these in Sarah Cannon's HeartBreathings locker of goodies. Just remember, you have to subscribe to her email to get into that locker, and there are so many goodies in there. I think that's going to do it for this one. I will be back here on Monday when we are going to talk about your writing crew. And I probably could have swept this one around with the sprint thing coming up this weekend. But I wanted you to make sure you had the tools to work with. Oh, you know what? So that you had the tools ready to go when camp starts, and you could test run some of these tool options during the Write-A-Thon this weekend on YouTube. So that's going to do it for me today. Monday we are going to talk about your writing crew, And that's going to take us up to the following Saturday when we kick off Camp Nano. So I will see you back here on Monday. Remember, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. And remember to check out the links in the description box. And I will see you back here on Monday. Happy writing!